Hi everyone, this is Miss Kaufman and I'm going to be reviewing converting linear equations into slope-intercept form. And it's a lot easier than we might think or feel. Okay, so again, our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And as we know from class, our main goal is to get the y by itself. Therefore, we can either insert the equation into the graphing calculator or graph the line manually, given the slope and y-intercept. So when an equation is in slope-intercept form, we know what the slope of the line and the y-intercept. Okay, so if we look at the following equation, y equals 2x plus 1, we know the slope would be 2, which is the value, the coefficient of x, or the value in front of x, and the y-intercept is the constant that is by itself, which is 1. So just taking a look at the graph of this line, y equals 2x plus 1, the first thing you want to do is plot your y-intercept. So you're going to focus on the value you're given, the constant number, which is positive 1, and that's going to be your first point on the y-axis. Next, you're going to use your slope to determine the next point. So since our slope is 2, we're going to put that 2 over 1, since it's a whole number. We're going to rise 2 and run 1 over to the right, and that will be our next point. Now, of course, you could keep going if you want. We can easily just draw a line through those points and make sure to extend them and include your arrowheads. Okay, so now we're going to look at an example where the y is not by itself. So let's take a look at this equation. We have 2y equals 4x plus 2. We want to get y by itself, but we have this 2 right next to it. So the operation that's holding this 2 and y together is multiplication. Therefore, we're going to need to divide by 2. So the key rule is what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So we're going to divide everything by 2. Okay. Now at this point, we're going to have to simplify those fractions. Two divided by 2 gives us 1y. 4 divided by 2 gives us 2x. And 2 divided by 2 gives us 1. Therefore, we're just left with y equals 2x plus 1. So this was a more simple problem, and we're going to look at a more difficult problem in a moment. First, another type of problem that's very similar. What are we going to have to divide every term by in this problem? If you're thinking 5, you are correct. We're going to divide both sides by 5. Okay, now again, we're going to simplify those fractions. 5 divided by 5 gives us 1y. 10 divided by 5, 10x divided by 5 gives us 2x. And 15 divided by 5 gives us 3. So now we know what the slope and the y-intercept of this equation is. Okay, so if we take a look at this one, we're going to divide both sides by -3 to get the y alone. Simplify the fractions, and I want you to tell me what you got for the slope and the y-intercept. So let's check our answer. So you should divide both sides by -3. When you simplify the fractions, you should get y equals, now be careful with the signs. -9 divided by -3 is +3, and negative 12 divided by negative 3 is positive 4. Therefore, your slope is 3 and your y-intercept is 4. All right, you guys are great at this. Let's continue. So let's take a look at this problem. What linear form is this equation in? If you're thinking standard, you're correct. So when you have the x and the y on the same side equal to a constant, this is in standard form. So what you want to first do is you want to always leave the y where it is and move your x term over to the other side. So we're first going to subtract this 21x because it's a positive number. So we're going to subtract on both sides. And since 14 and negative 21 are not like terms, we're just going to leave it as it is, negative 21x plus 14 on the right side. And we're just left with negative 7y on the left. And we're almost done here. Very similar to other problems. Now we just need to divide everything by negative 7. Okay, and simplify your fractions. Negative 21 divided by negative 7 gives us the 3x. And the 14 divided by negative 7 is negative 2. So now we know our slope and our y-intercept. Okay, so now let's try this on our own. We want to subtract both sides by 26. You want to get the y by itself, so what's next to it is the 26. Divide both sides by 2. And then simplify the fractions. What do you get for the slope and the y-intercept? So let's check our answer. When you subtract both sides by 26, you should get negative 6x minus 26 on the right side of the equal sign. Then at this point, you are dividing everything by 2 to isolate the y. Okay? And for all my math wizards out there, you get 2 divided by 2 gives you 1y. Negative 6x divided by 2 is negative 3x. And negative 26 divided by 2 is negative 13. Okay. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.